See, today we are going to talk about world peace formula. Okay, it's based on Bhagavad Gita 5.29. First of all, what is the background? Why Bhagavad Gita was spoken? And what is Bhagavad Gita? So everything is there on Ved Sarthi. So I'm going to share a couple of videos with you. Take time to listen to those videos, okay? And then we'll discuss further next week. Okay, so as of now, just understand that Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Lord Shri Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to his devotee and friend Arjuna. Okay, so Arjuna is devotee and friend of Lord Krishna. So Lord Shri Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Okay, Kurukshetra is a place in India, and the great battle of Mahabharata took place at Kurukshetra. And there were two parties in that battle. One of the parties was Kauravas, 100 brothers, unrighteous. We say in Sanskrit, adharmi, not following the religious principles. And the other party was of 5 brothers, Pandavas. Okay? And Pandavas were righteous. They were devotees of Lord Shri Krishna. Who is a devotee? Devotee means bhakt. In Sanskrit, devotee is known as what? Bhakt. Okay, bhakt. So, devotees are those who follow the instructions of Lord. Okay. So, Kauravas, 100 brothers, were not following the instructions of Lord, whereas Pandavas, 5 brothers, they followed the instructions of Lord. And there was a fight on the field of Kurukshetra. Okay. So, before this fight, Arjun, who was one of the Pandavas, he was overwhelmed with compassion because he saw in the opposite army his brothers, 100 brothers, his cousins basically, because he saw in the opposite army his cousins, the Kaurava brothers, okay? And of course, other relatives who were fighting on the side of the Kauravas, right? So they were relatives of Pandavas also. So Arjun didn't want to fight with his cousins, with his relatives. He was overwhelmed with compassion. At that moment, Arjun surrendered to Lord Shri Krishna to guide him because he was confused whether he should fight or he should not fight. And then Lord Shri Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, and finally, after listening to the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Arjun told Shri Krishna that now his illusion is gone, okay? And he has regained his memory, and now he would do as per what Krishna would instruct him. So that is actually the result of reading Bhagavad Gita. All the confusions of our life are gone, okay? We get a clear path what to do in life. We understand what is the right path. In different situations, see, daily basis we come across different situations and we have to make some choices. So when we have the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then it becomes easy for us to make the right choices, because now our choice is backed with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. See, if a person is not knowledgeable and the other person is knowledgeable, and we tell both of them to choose something, so obviously, one who is knowledgeable, he will be able to make the right choice because he has the knowledge. But one who is ignorant, he may not be able to make the right choice. Agree with this? If you have to make some choices in different situations, you have to have the knowledge, right? So Arjun, who was earlier not willing to fight, after listening to Bhagavad Gita, he agreed to fight because that was the order of Lord Shri Krishna. And this war was war between dharma and adharma, war between righteousness and unrighteousness. Okay, so Krishna wanted to establish dharma. He wanted to establish dharma through Pandavas. And there is a background that, these Kauravas, they actually took away all the possessions of Pandavas through cheating, right? And when a kingdom is ruled by unrighteous king, what will happen? ultimately there is destruction of spiritual values, human values, moral values, right? Complete society norms, they are all disrupted when the king is unrighteous. Krishna wanted to establish Pandavas as the rightful, because Pandavas were the rightful owners of the kingdom. So Krishna wanted to establish them, and because Pandavas were righteous, so that was actually required to establish dharma in the kingdom, so that everybody is happy. Okay, so everything, this is very short, which I just tried to explain, but you just listen to those videos. I will send those videos in the group. So just listen to the background part. Okay, I will tell you from what duration to what duration you have to listen, because after that, there are description, like there is discussion on the various verses, the shlokas. So you don't have to go through that as of now. Just listen to the background, why this war happened. Okay, so in this Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. Okay, and total verses, shlokas. Okay, verses we say shlokas. Just see, I'll show you how it. See, this is Bhagavad Gita. It is divided into 18 chapters. Okay, these are the 18 chapters. And shloka is what? See, this text. Text 1, text 2, text 3. So total how many texts are there? 700. And it was spoken in Sanskrit language. So this is shloka 1. BG 1.1 means Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse 1. Okay? And after this chapter 1, after this verse 1, we have
Hello.
Verse 2, verse 3, and so on. So total 18 chapters are there, and if we combine all the shlokas or verses or texts of these 18 chapters, it is 700. So today we are going to talk about a verse which Krishna spoke to Arjuna, and it is given in chapter number 5, the last verse of chapter number 5. Okay, this is the shloka. This is Bhagavad Gita 5.29, means chapter 5, verse 29. Okay, hope so far whatever I have explained, it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in this shloka, see, Lord Krishna says, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim vrachati. Okay, let us try to recite. So Ganesh, you unmute, and when I speak, just repeat. Okay, Ganesh?
Okay, ma'am.
Say, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam
Bhoktaram yagya tapasam
sarva loka maheshwaram
sarvaloka maheshwaram
suhridam sarva bhutanam
suridam sarvabhutanam
gyatva mam
gyatva mam
shantim rachati.
shantim rachati.
Very good. Kayan Prabhuji, now you unmute. Ganesh, you mute yourself now. Kayan Prabhuji, let's try.
Okay.
Say, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam
Bhoktaram yagya tapasam
sarva loka maheshwaram
sarvalok maheshwaram
suhridam sarva bhutanam
purvadam sarvabhutanam
gyatva mam
yatma mam
shantim rachati.
santim rakshati.
Excellent, very good. Sia beta, now you unmute. Okay, look at the English transliterations. Okay, all of you, whenever you practice shloka recitation, you have to refer to this, because one thing is that even if we know how to read this, like Ganesh would be knowing how to read this, okay, Sanskrit, but the problem is that the word breakup, it will be difficult for you to read, to pronounce when the different words are combined. So here you have the right breakup. Okay, so try to read from, even I refer to this English transliteration. Okay, so now Sia Mataji, Sia, Bhoktaram
Bhoktaram
yagya tapasam
yajya tapasam
sarva loka
Sarvaloka
Maheshwaram
Maheshwaram
Suhridam
Suritam
Sarva
Sarva
Bhutanam
Bhutanam
Gyatva
Gyatva
Gyatva. See, this
Gyatva
JN is actually Gya. Okay? This JN, it is actually Gya. We say Gya. Okay? Say Gyatva
Gyatva
Mam
Mam
Shantim
Shantim
Rachati.
Rakshati.
Excellent. Very good. Very nice. Now what we are going to do is, I'll tell you, how to memorize these verses and how to, and there's a process actually. Pronunciation I'm going to send in the group. Would you be interested to learn these verses? How many of you are interested to learn these verses? Very good. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to send the pronunciation of each and every word very clearly in the group. Okay? And when you recite, you have to recite, with a rhythm. See how we read this. How we, recite this. I'll just present it just now. Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachati. Okay? And how do you have to remember it? See, this verse is broken down into 4 parts. So you have to, I'll give you a document, okay, or I'll explain through audio. So this verse is broken down into 4 parts. So every part you sing 4 times. Bhoktaram yagyatapasam, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam, Sarvaloka maheshwaram, Sarvaloka maheshwaram, Sarvaloka maheshwaram, Sarvaloka maheshwaram, Suhridam sarvabhutanam, Suhridam sarvabhutanam, Suhridam sarvabhutanam, Suhridam sarvabhutanam, Gyatva mam shantim rachati, Gyatva mam shantim rachati, Gyatva mam shantim rachati, Gyatva mam shantim rachati. So every part you spoke how many times? 4 times. Now combine 2 parts and sing it 4 times again. Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvalokamaheshwaram, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvalokamaheshwaram, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvalokamaheshwaram, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvalokamaheshwaram, Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachati, Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachati, Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachati, Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachati. Now combine complete shlok 4 times. Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram, Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachati, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram, Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachati, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram, Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachati, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram, Suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachati. Now by the time you practice, you chant this shloka this way, you will find that you will be able to remember most of it. Okay, this is the way you have to learn these verses. Alright, so divide the shlok into 4 parts. It is already given in this link. Recite every part 4 times, then combine 2 parts, recite that combination, 2 parts together 4 times. Okay, and then the complete verse 4 times. Now see what Lord Krishna, and this shloka, verse 5.29 is the peace formula, that is given by Lord Shri Krishna. We are all looking for peace. We see so many organizations, institutions trying to attain peace in the society, in the world, based on obviously the different levels at which they are working. Certain organizations working at some basic community level, right? At some society level, nation level, or international, world level. So there are different societies, different organizations who are working for attaining peace, right? But have they been successful in attaining peace? Based on your experience, what you see around, do you think that we have been successful in attaining peace in the society? Tell me, do you see peace around everywhere, or you see some unrest going on in the world or at the state level, society level? Ganesh, tell me, beta. Kayan, Sia,
There's no peace.
there is no peace, right? And Sia, you agree? Yeah. Okay. So what is the reason? What is the root cause? Why we have not been able to attain peace? The root cause is that we are not God-centric. We talk about universal brotherhood. You have heard this term? Universal brotherhood? That this whole planet is a family, and every living being that is living, that is, on this planet, we are all what? We are all related with each other. Universal brotherhood means what? Universally, at the planet level, we consider everyone as our brother or our relative. Okay? But now, do we see people complying with this thinking of universal brotherhood? Now you understood the meaning of brotherhood, universal brotherhood, right? Sia? So do you think that people are complying with this feeling of universal brotherhood? They are not. Do you agree? Now why it is so? Because we are not God-centric. Okay. What do you understand by brothers? Brothers have same father, right? That is why we say that they are brothers. Two individuals are brothers because they have the same set of parents, right? That is how they are related with each other. Agree? Now, when we talk about universal brotherhood, why do we say that we have to be God-centric in order to attain this state of universal brotherhood? Because when we are God-centric, then we'll understand that everyone, all of us on this, planet Earth, we are all sons and daughters of one God. So one Father, right? So ultimately, we all are related with each other through God, who is actually our Supreme Father. So if each one of us understands this fact, will there not be universal brotherhood? Tell me. Yes? So how do we attain universal brotherhood? Through single fatherhood. Our teacher, my spiritual teacher, Sri Vrindavan Chandra Das ji, he says that universal brotherhood can be attained through single fatherhood. And who is that single father of all living beings? He is the Supreme Personality.
Lordkrishna.
Yes, Lord Krishna. Okay? So when each one of us understand we are all sons and daughters of Krishna, so then there will not be any different feelings for each other, because we all will understand that we are same family, right? So this entire, earth, all living beings, actually we all are same family. Not only just human beings, but also plants, ants, birds, beasts, animals, reptiles, everyone. Because everyone is what? Spirit, soul. The body that we see is just the outer covering, but inside the body, soul resides, and soul is part and parcel of Krishna. So Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita verse 15.7. that all the living entities are my eternal parts and parcel. Okay, so we'll study that next time. But today, now coming back to Shlok 5.29, that is the peace formula. Now we all agreed that although we have so many organizations putting in efforts to attain world peace, but we have not been able to attain that because we are not God-centric. So what is the peace formula that Lord Shri Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita? That we'll understand. And when the organizations start following this peace formula, then they can attain peace and happiness in the society. Okay? So in this verse, Lord Krishna says, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachati. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Okay, so three things. Here Krishna talks about three things. First, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. Krishna is the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities. So everything is for the satisfaction of Krishna. Nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs to Krishna. He is the ultimate beneficiary of everything. Second, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Krishna is the supreme lord of everything. All the planets, universes, demigods, living entities, everything. So Krishna is the supreme lord of everything. Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. Krishna is the well-wisher of all living entities. One who knows these three things, he attains peace. Okay? So here, and just try to understand the word meanings. See, Prabhupada ji has provided this Bhagavad Gita in very detailed scholarly way. It has been provided. This Bhagavad Gita is basically if one wants to do a scholarly study of Bhagavad Gita, he can refer to this. Because see, there is word breakup, English transliteration, and then synonyms, translation, and then purport, description. What Krishna wants to say through this verse. So that is explained by Prabhupada under the purport. So whenever you get time, you can just read and try to understand. Okay? Okay. I'll make it readable, okay? And I'll send it to you. So 3 points. Krishna is the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifice and austerities. Number 2, Krishna is the supreme proprietor of everything. Universes, planets, living beings, Mother Nature, everything. And third, Krishna is the well-wishing friend of everyone, every living entity. One who perfectly understands this attains peace. This is the peace formula. Okay? Now let us try to understand these 3 points. First, Krishna is the ultimate beneficiary of everything. Why do we say, why have I written that one who perfectly understands this? One who perfectly understands this attains peace. Why did I write this perfectly? What do you mean by perfect understanding of anything? What is perfect understanding? When is your knowledge complete?
When you understand it fully,
And then, what is the next step of understanding? You take the knowledge, you understand the knowledge. What is the next step?
you plan to put it into action.
Yes, you have to put that knowledge into action. So when we are saying that one who perfectly understands these 3 points attains peace. So that means what he has understood from these points, he applies them successfully in his life. Then only, he's in a position to attain peace, basically. Okay? Now you have to understand one very important thing, that what is the root of all problems that we are facing currently? What is the root of all problems that we are facing currently at individual level, family, society level, nation, state level, or world level? At every level, you can apply this, the root cause that I'm going to just now discuss with you. The root cause is that we think that whatever things are around me is for my enjoyment. I am the proprietor of the things around me. I am the enjoyer of these things around me. And that is why we don't want to share. And we don't want the other person to take away those things and enjoy. Are you able to relate what I said? You agree or you disagree? When we think that everything around me is for my enjoyment, that thing has to be put into my service. Because this mentality of me and mine, in Hindi we say मैं और मेरा, me and mine, this selfishness, simple terms, selfishness. So actually this selfishness is cause of all the problems that we are facing today. Do you agree with this? Because see, when you are selfish, what will happen? You think everything is for me. So first, you will get engrossed in enjoying those things. Second, you will work hard to gather more things of enjoyment. Right? And third, when your this greed increases, then you would not mind snatching things from the other people also for your benefit. Do you understand? So selfishness, in simple terms, selfishness is the cause of all our problems. The moment we become selfless, you will find that you will attain peace. You will feel peaceful when you become selfless. Because when you are selfish, you have those anxieties. I want this, I want to enjoy this, I want to do this. I would not let the other person enjoy those things. I want to snatch that thing from that person has got something, which maybe, you come across somebody, having something which you want. So you would not let the other person enjoy that thing. Rather, you want that specific thing should come to you because you think you are the owners of all these things, basically, everything. So that is selfishness. So selfishness is actually the cause of all problems that we are facing today. Just consider the fight between nations. Why does it happen? Selfishness. One nation tries to prove its superiority to the other nation, try to capture the other nation, have control on the resources of other nation. If they had this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, that everything is the property of the Lord, would they infiltrate into other nations' land to enhance their boundaries? Would they do that? They would not do that. You understand? So all these fights that are going on at whatever level, again I'm saying, individual, family, society, nation, within nations, within the state itself. So everywhere, the problem this is happening is because, one party wants to show, in fact, both the parties, they want to prove their superiority. They would not let the other party enjoy the resources of nature, like when we talk about different countries fighting. So one country trying to capture other means what? That country doesn't want the other country, to stay peacefully with all citizens, peacefully, accepting whatever God has given them through the mother nature. Instead, they want to capture and exploit the people, exploit the natural resources from that specific nation. This is what happens. So it is due to selfishness. Now, how do you get rid of this feeling of selfishness? You have to start from at the individual level. It is very difficult, to change the entire nation in one shot. Actually, this knowledge of being, selfless has to be imparted at individual level. Then only, it will be at the society level, state level, nation level, and so on. So the first point, Krishna is the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities. So this means that we have to understand that everything is the property of God. We are not the proprietor, and these things around me is not for my enjoyment. These things do not belong to me. These things belong to God. God has given these things to me, but basically, by God's grace, I have got these things in my life. But actually, all these things, they belong to God. So they have to be put in the service of God. It is not for my enjoyment. For example, when you come across a flower, okay? So when you look at the flower, you must understand this flower is a product of material nature, and material nature is a property of, is an energy of Lord. You'll get to know these things as we learn different verses where Lord Krishna says that this material nature is Lord Krishna's energy. So this flower is also Krishna's energy. So it has to be used in the service of Krishna. So we must offer this flower to Krishna rather than, thinking ourselves to be the enjoyer of this flower. We should first offer it to Krishna, then accept it from Krishna as prasadam, as Krishna's mercy. We'll talk about prasadam. When we actually make some offering to God, and then we, later on, after making that offering, we accept it as God's grace. So that is known as prasadam. Okay? So it's not that you are not using that flower for yourself, but first you are offering it to Krishna and then accepting it as his mercy. Okay, that is the way. You'll get to know. This is just beginners kind of classes that we are doing today. But systematically, I'm going to explain all these points to you. See, simple example. See, when your father has purchased something for you, obviously he will not take it. He will give it to you only. But when you respectfully offer it to your father, so he'll be happy now. He'll give it back to you. But he'll be happy with you. Do you understand? Similarly, all these things which Krishna has provided to us, they all belong to Krishna. So before accepting those things, we must offer them to Krishna. And you can do it through mind also. Okay? Just keep that feeling. For example, when you're eating food, you pray, right? Before you eat food, you pray. Do you all pray when you eat food? Or at least in your schools, you must have learned this. That when you are taking food, you pray to God. Do you do that? Any of you? Why do we do prayers? Why do we do prayers? Why do we pray? If we take this example that you are taking food, before that you are praying, so why do we pray? We are showing our gratitude that God, you have provided this to me. I'm very grateful to you. At least this much you can do. So when you start practicing this, anything that you get, like you get new clothes, your father, your parents purchase some new clothes for you, just say thanks to Krishna. That Krishna, you have provided me these clothes through my parents. I thank you for this. When you start developing this habit, at least, this selfish attitude that, everything is for me and I'm entitled to get these things from the nature, from my parents or from my society. So that feeling will be gone. You will become less selfish. Gradually, you will become selfless. So today's lesson, actually, we are going to talk about these points. We'll continue with these points next week. But today's lesson, most important, that I am not the proprietor and enjoyer of things around me. The only proprietor and enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. And whatever things Krishna has provided to me, I will accept it as Krishna's mercy. Okay? Just think about these points. Okay? I'm going to share this in the group, this presentation. Just ponder on these points and we'll continue our discussion next week. Now, if you have any questions or have you been able to understand, and I am going to quickly process this recording because Arya joined late. Beta, Arya, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I will try to, quickly process this recording. Maybe I'll try today or by tomorrow. Just try and go through, okay? And we recited this verse also. This verse we recited also. So recitation you'll get through that video. So try to practice, okay? And I'm going to just speak out each and every word in the WhatsApp group also. And this recitation, just practice. And more details you can get through the video. All right. So we'll talk about this peace formula further in our next class. Now, any questions, please go ahead and ask, or we'll close the session. We close the session. Thank you, everyone. Just say Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Siya.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.